Okay, folks, I found these and decided to bathe them in some disinfectant. Yes, they were wet. They look like they've been out. I'm glad I got them because they look really, they're an Australian icon. Let's see how we go with this, if I can make it look any good. Gonna leave it at that. I don't know how big we're gonna make these. This user interface is a pain. Just lost my positioning. There we are, found it. Okay, let's see what these are. These are what they call budgie smugglers. We've got the seagull on the front. On the back, we have the word budgie smuggler and the seagulls. This is obviously merchandise from Manly Warringah football. What they call rugby league, very popular. If you're not Australian, you don't know what it is. It's just another form of football, or footy. We call it footy. I don't watch that shit typically. I did watch this team, Manly Warringah, smash the opponent in the 2011 grand final because I was being teased and bullied at work about this team, because I lived in Manly for a while and they were really getting angry at me because they were treating it like I was snooty, snooty Northern Beaches shit. Now we've lost our settings. So, Northern Beaches has a reputation of being snooty, sort of a bit uppity and up themselves, money, especially when it comes to being rich. And I was being teased, even though I'm not a fucking richo. And I've never been a richo, but basically I got teased and bullied at work, even though it was a place where people with disabilities should be felt comfortable and safe instead of being treated like shit. So I felt really down, and they were teasing me about this team, even though I'm not a follower of footy. But because I lived in Manly, they were hassling me and they were being mean and horrible about it. And they kept saying, Manly's going to lose, la, la, la. It's like they kept saying it. They kept grinding me into it. But the thing is, what they didn't realise is that they were counting the chicks before they hatched. And that was a really dumb thing to do, because it ended up being that the Manly Warringah ended up winning the grand final. And I was so happy. It felt like there was poetic justice. The bitches who loved football, their team lost. Suck shit, fucktards. You fucking wanted an excuse to tease and bully. Teasing and bullying people that I've had to deal with often look for excuses to tease. If they can't find an excuse, if they don't have an excuse, they'll find one. And this is their excuse, that I'm living in a snooty suburb. But mark my words, my building was not a snooty place. It wasn't even a nice place. So that's come up looking really quite interesting. So yeah, I was treated like I was upper class snobbery by these people at work. And they just didn't care. They just didn't seem to understand that if you don't you shouldn't count the chicks before they hatch. You shouldn't think that it's going to happen. Definitely, you got to fucking be prepared for what happens if they lose. were they doing this to me? Why were they hassling me so mercilessly over a stupid dumb footy match or a series of footy matches? Why, folks? Why? What did I do to deserve that kind of shit? Really, honestly, I couldn't give a... Typically, I can't give a flying fuck for this game. This stupid dumb game called footy. But basically these bitches did. And these bitches got what was deserved. And I'm so happy I watched those matches that showed them winning. And I had a gut feeling they were going to win. That was the funny thing. I had a gut feeling that it was worth watching these matches to watch my enemies get their noses rubbed in their own shit. So, that's the thing, folks. Don't ever think that your team, whatever you're into, is definitely going to win. Don't count the chicks before they hatch. You got to fucking be prepared if they lose. And that's the thing with gambling. People think that they can win all the time with gambling. Like they think they can beat the system, but they can't. So you can't beat system, even though you might win. You win some, you lose more, and that's true, folks. So yeah, don't count the chicks before they hatch. Don't assume your team is going to win. Don't assume, ass. You make an ass out of you and me, as the word assume goes. And these bitches at work made an ass out of themselves. They were very fortunate that I wasn't the kind of person that was going to come back. I left the job just after the footy match, or just before the footy match, actually. But I could have come back to that workplace and I could have fucking rubbed it in. But I felt that it wasn't worth doing that. I didn't feel I needed to rub it in, even though I had every right to, every reason to rub it in, to fucking grind their noses in their own fucking shit. But no, I didn't. They were very fortunate I didn't, because they would have been so fucking embarrassed, or they might have found something else to hassle me for. So the business doesn't exist anymore, folks. It got bought out by Quick Copy. The company was called Buckprint Graphics, and then we were a little photocopy shop, and basically they basically went out of business, and it wasn't being well managed, obviously. And basically they were hassling me about this team and hassling me, and they were really giving me a hard time, and they just failed to see that that their team ended up losing, and they could have looked really, really stupid if it wasn't for my kindness and me allowing them to let them off the hook. I let them off the hook, but they could have gotten really embarrassed, and I don't know what they would have done or what they would have said if I had have been there to hurl abuse back at them, hurl abuse. And there goes the fucking feed on this machine. I think it's the pickup rollers. I don't like the colour. This colour's better than that colour. So that's the yellow. But that's the thing, folks. That's the lesson to take with you, is don't count the chicks before they hatch, because you just don't know what the outcome's going to be. You just don't know, folks. You don't know. You can't know. You haven't got a crystal ball. There is no such thing as a crystal ball, folks, if you believe in that shit. But basically, it's just like, you just don't fucking assume that your team is unbreakable or unstoppable. You don't do that, folks. Even if it looks like it's their odds-on favourite, the underdog could easily come back and smash. Yeah, that looks a bit nicer, the colour and that. I do like that more maroony look. But yeah, don't count the chicks before they hatch, folks. Don't count the fucking seagulls. Well, yeah, I don't know how I knew it in my heart this team was going to beat. I think it was the Warriors. tried looking it up on Google, and I think it was against the New Zealand Warriors, and the year was 2011, more than a decade ago. But basically, yeah, they won. Sea Eagles won, and it was really sweet victory. I've never had such a good time watching a shitty game known as footy. As I said, I'm not a footy fan. I typically don't follow this group, these teams. I'm just not a fucking footy person. I actually think maybe I should go back to the cyan. I think yellow blends in too much. I don't know how that's going to look. But yeah, you just have to fucking, don't count the chicks before they hatch, folks. Don't fucking think your team's, as I said, is unbreakable. Because no team is unbreakable. Even though I'm not an expert on sport, I know nothing of it. I think the cyan does look shitty. Yeah, it's tricky trying to get this just right, folks. But yeah, I just really was quite horrible. It would have been a horrible thing for the favourites, the people who were barracking for, I think it was the Warriors, to win, because they figured it was my team that they had reason to tease me and bully me at this place for some reason, and they just didn't. I do hope they learn their lesson. Yeah, it's not sounding too healthy, this photocopier, folks. Okay, let's get these out. But yeah, budgie smugglers indeed. That's really Aussie, a really Aussie brand. I don't know where they're made though. If they're made in China, I haven't had a look, because most things that are Australian, including Australian Day merchandise, is made offshore in China, which is really sad because you think it should be made here in Oz, being Aussie. But it's all about money making and cutting costs, and that's a load of shit. That's another story, but that's come up looking quite interesting. I think I can now call this demo quits.